Alright boys and girls, and welcome back to another building video. This time we're coming at you guys with a nice and offline raid ready base. We're back to throwing in a lot of bunkers and striving to keep your loot as safe as possible over the nighttime. The Yutani is an egg-shaped footprint that's taken all the way up to around about a 6 to 8 man size of base, but you could store some more people in here if you're looking to do that. Harbor a couple of leechers, definitely works in this base. While I've gone for offline strength, this is definitely no easy online raid. We've gone for everything that you could need to help you defend an online with some amazing compound turrets, amazing respawns, and amazing mobility throughout the base, giving you the best quality of life, letting you traverse between those bunkers into the open core, and even a bunkered starter, perfect for those of you who are also on console rust. So this base really ticks all the boxes, and I reckon it will impress you all. We're really close now to 80,000 subs, and gotta thank Mr. William for that big bump that he sorted us out with. I really appreciate that. But yeah, if we could hit that, that would be sick. Hopefully you guys appreciate this build, as a lot of time went into this one behind the scenes, and we've gone through rather a few different variants, checking with some other builders to make sure the base is perfect for you all. Remember to check out the PvP vids, they're doing mad now recently, and let's get on with the tour of the video. I'm room with the tour now, so we're going to go ahead and take a little look at this base, and hopefully you're all going to be very impressed. So it is an egg, 3-sided egg with 3 externals, and we're just doing the standard tunnel TC. That's what I'm wrapping just now, and I do like these. They're good for progression, and then when you have the mats, you can expand the full tunnel, giving yourself some respawns and some angles out of the base. If you're ever wondering why we don't have the windows facing this way, back towards compound, it's because people will be able to look down the tunnel towards the TC, which could potentially be weakening things. Down here though is our external, and it's not disconnectable, so keep that in mind. If you do need to replace the main, you'll need to come inside here and whoa you'll need to go in this area, and you'll need to break the DC either with a Molotov or a DB or fire arrows, whatever is easiest. You'll need a few people on while you're doing that so that nobody sabotages that, and then you can replace your main once all of those are broken, and then replace your externals. Not a massive deal. All the old Rust players had to do it. You guys all managed too. But yeah, that's what we're going to wrap for now. If you guys got a minute, I got some cool stuff to show. The Patreon is now at a massive amount of members. I'm really thankful to everyone who's come by to check it out. We're also at 17 completely private bases that are on here, which you guys are all going to enjoy across different group sizes. Not to mention the Spink box that will always be updated every time I get online rated. I will try something else in there, and later versions will only be on the Patreon. Also feel free to check out the Discord. It's where I have all of my settings in one place. And there's multiple great builders that can help you in any areas where you may get stuck on my builds or anything of your own. You can also open a ticket and request your own custom base design that's completely private to you and your description, allowing you to have your dream base for you and your team. This is a very premium product, and it's something that I like to put a lot of time into, but it's definitely worth checking out, and it's super well reviewed. So if you guys are considering it, maybe check it out. Appreciate you guys for listening. Hopefully it's better than your average sponsor, and let's get back to the video. Coming in the gatehouse, we keep it pretty simple, pretty simplistic, and not too crazy. We get one angle back into compound, no head coverage here. We could throw a planter box if you wanted, but it just gives us a little angle, and then we save the better angles for the bedrooms and such. So we have a turret above here, a nice seawall protection with a spot for a large furnace that's easily accessed on the gap here, and the industrial can flow through here as well for those of you who like to set that up. Turrets above the gatehouse doing a great job down the back here, and then turrets above the bedrooms as well, watching through a spot of chain link, and they're also keeping an eye behind the furnace as well, lining up pretty well here, stopping anyone from laddering over. Inside the bedrooms now, these are the more protected angles, so you've got your head safe here. You can watch behind the compound when that furnace is gone, and when the high walls are gone, these angles are going to open up a lot more, and we're going to get some great angles looking outside. We can also kind of check back into compound, but it's nothing too crazy there. But for the rest of the team, you're going to throw down some lockers and some small boxes to re-kit off of. And if you're not that deep, then you can swap a few beds for some barrels. We have 3 entrances into the base. The rest of the compound is full symmetrical. We've got the standard entrance over here, and those are 1, 2, 3 on every side. And then we have our reverse waterfalls, and we have 6 of those in total. Might be overkill, but I'm a man of symmetry, so we can just jump from there, taking ourselves all the way up to roof height level. Gives us a little retake onto our shooting floor before we do jump up onto roof, but I'll try not to spoil too much of that for now. Dropping back down, of course, you can take no fall damage just dropping through the net. And this is our little airlock here. You can put a double door for now. I'm just wrapping the garage door for the looks. Early game, this will be a great bit of visual coverage though. Before your compound, you can safely come out of here with a couple of DLC doors. You'll have a full coverage before you head out. Opening up this G door now, we can take the staircase. And the nice thing about this is we wrap that over a deployable, so it's a little bit stronger and it looks kind of cool. Coming in, that's the rest of the mobility heading up, but we're going to take a look at our second floor first of all. Wrapping through our mobility chute, we have the option to drop down into a early game bedroom, which is not on the multi-TC section. So you can throw this bedroom down nice and early, respawn on there, and retake the second floor, giving us some angles throughout the base. If I take out these deployables, you'll get more of an idea of what I'm talking about. It's a nice early game bedroom, respawn, rekit, and a retake, all thrown together. Very nice. Coming in through into the second floor now, we did have an airlock there before I destroyed it, and this is nice early game progression. We get a couple of mega loot rooms and a bit of a ring that almost wraps all the way through, but is segregated at the very end there, and that gives us a nice starter to play off of, a lot of boxes to expand from as well, which is super good. And the ring is nice and defendable and ready to place all deployables, with 3 retakes that I just pointed out as well. In the center, we have the drop down to the starter base, and that comes with a bunker. The bunker is console friendly and of course PC friendly, as that's what I'm on. So we open up this door here, and this is how you would wrap it during the day, just a simple wooden build up. But during the nighttime, when everybody's logging off, you can go ahead and add a armored roof on top of this wooden foundation. And all you need to make sure is that you've got a couple of tools left in the core so you can chop this out, or enough materials in the TC to make some machetes. Breaking this is going to pop open the bunker, and then when the rest of the team log on and it's safe to play again, we can just throw this little wooden setup down and use the other staircase as well for even better mobility. There we go. Beautiful. So that's how we wrap it during the day, and that bunker's up at nighttime, keeping the core nice and strong, and it's an early game bunker that you can throw down even on day one. We get a little barrel loot room in here, little box loot room over there, and a TC setup with an early game battery, and all the bags we could need, and hopefully enough boxes to expand to the second floor. Heading back out of this area to our mobility chute once again, there are 3 of these on every side of the base. We can jump up now to a little early game bedroom, which I really like. It's going to come with some Patrico angles that we can use to look down into compound and around outside the base. When these high walls are gone, the angles will open up a lot more. This is going to be our entrance into our open core. It also follows the mobility around to the left hand side, and we get a nice little bunker here as well, which is great. No gaps on this, no weak spots. You can throw a couple barrels in here. If you're on console, then you're going to have to do something different, of course, but I like this little one triangle section here. It works perfectly fine, and you can throw some really nice loot in there, and it's 2 walls from the outside, which is great. Heading back through, that's our open core there, or the mobility continues up the triangles heading through. We'll take a look at the open core now with some boxes underneath, a couple of furnaces in the center to stand on, shelf setup as well, and you can throw beds around and up above on these levels here so everyone gets a respawn, or you can just throw them down the center too. A couple of mega loot rooms around the sides and some boxes in the floor too. Overall making a nice, simple, cute little open core. Nothing too crazy, very similar to Krub's open core, so credits to him for creating that. Big fan of that, and the bunkers are close by, making life easy for the whole team. We can go ahead and head up the mobility chute now, and of course you have a retake on this level, with some beds allowing you to retake the open core in case it has been breached on one of the opposing sides, and for the majority of the time just leaving some glass window on here to make sure nothing is too weak. Over on here is a battery spot, and this is 2 walls from the outside, so that's going to be one of your main batteries on each side of the base, where your roof windmills are going to connect to. Our next jump up is going to give us some one-ways over to our shooting floor exit and out towards shooting floor as well. You can HV through these, as you're most likely not going to get an insta-kill, just aiming at toe level. In the center of this level, we have a nice bedroom area with some retakes, making sure nobody takes this floor, watching the door path entry as we go through, and of course lockers, beds. You're going to want to keep main raid defense kits up here. You can drop down to retake the open core, or you can head out to the shooting floor from here as well, and you can see the one-ways are holding through this entire area. The mobility chute to roof continues up from that level as well, but for now we're going to head out to the shooting floor to show you guys that. We airlock out onto our shooting floor, and that's where we can utilize our wide gaps from here, backing up as far as we need to tighten up the angle. And then we can exit out and utilize the downwards from the left and right side with some more downwards out the front here, and these are fob protected on the outside so nobody can ankle bite the shooting floor. The shooting floor I'm really impressed with overall. We'll start over by looking at this section. This is from my friend Mr. S4. It's the triple brutalist module, which essentially gives us an almost 360 degree. We're missing just one angle on the back there, but this is full brutalist angle on our left, right, and center, which is very nice. And then a retake to roof above, giving us a lot of visibility, not a super tight angle, but there's not a lot of spots to hide when you're up there. So we've got the triple brutalist over here, downward angles over here, and then we wrap into another triple brutalist on this side as well. So full fob protected, very defender sided angles in shooting floor, really going to give raiders or online raiders a hard chance at defending. more downwards wrapping around here, and the rest of the modules just repeat with no way up to roof from shooting floor. Little look at the retakes as well that I showcased before from the reverse waterfalls, and then we need to head back into the center ring to get up to our roof. We get one final roof retake here with a little ankle bite watching before we head out, and then this section is left open for minicopters, and these are vending machines that you can actually sell things from, not just for flexing, but we'll open up these now. Minicopters can fit in here nice and easy, and then scrappies unfortunately just need to go in the center on top, a little bit more exposed. The roof turrets on this base are actually really strong and not easy to take down from above. I would figure that even an MLRS might have a hard time taking out some of these turrets. Our SAMs are decently hidden as well from the outside. They were going to need to build up or use terrain in order to shoot those out, but they're decently covered. And then the turrets themselves are not going to be easy to take out. Even with an attack heli, they're going to have a tough time. Good bit of chain link on these as well, keeping us safe on the roof, watching down the middle. At all times, there's at least 2 turrets looking at me, which I really appreciate. Heading over here, we're going to take a look at some of the angles. So we do get our standard kind of grill Patricos up top here. And I really like this angle. You're good for at least 4 before you've even taken 20 points of damage. It's very rare that I'm getting taken out on one of these if I've got heavy pan. It's just too overpowered. Locker setup here, and some beds can go through here too. Up above, we get a couple more brutalist angles to look down towards the external. So if anyone is taking those, you're going to stop them from doing that. A little bit open here, not much we can do about that. This is where the reverse waterfalls meet up, and the shooting floor retakes are accessible there too. You can come up in the center as well, nice and easily, just jumping on deployables. And over here, we get one roof bedroom as well for your favorite players, giving you 6 beds up on roof that are tucked away here with a locker and a nice bit of visibility before we do head out to our roof. Overall, this is a pretty banging base, and it's been a while since I've done a strictly offline raid kind of design. So hopefully those of you who like to sleep well at night will appreciate this one, as I can pretty much guarantee your loot is going to survive the night unless you've been a real pain to the server. Then they might wind up farming up the extra rockets to take you down. But overall, pretty impressed with this one, and I'll go ahead and break down the cost for you now. First of all, on screen is the total build cost. Second up is that build cost in box amounts. And lastly is the total upkeep that's spread between 4 TCs. And of course, the main TC is holding the majority of that upkeep. Hopefully you're all impressed with these stats, and we'll go ahead and break down how to build the base now. Alright, let's get in with the tutorial now of the Yutani. So we're going to start off with an egg footprint, which is a triangle wrapped in squares. And I'm sorry if you can hear my mouse clicking a lot. The Viper V3 appears to be very loud. We're going to make this the bunker, so that's where our wooden one goes. And the bare minimum that we need to claim build spot is with this square here. You don't have a lot of materials on you, and you're just looking to get that TC down and secure. That's all you need to do. But for our actual starter base, we're going to be coming out here. We're going to get an extra triangle here, and we're going to wrap all of that in. So this is the kind of starter base here. Wrap it in with a wall, door connects over there. That's a loot room, and that's a loot room. You can add in the half walls, bring one over for this one too, and then from there upgrade the outer walls. This can either be a window, a door, double door, whatever you want to go for. It's just going to be some barrels housed in there. That's what I had in the tour if you're looking to copy it 1-to-1. And we can ceiling all of this off and add that missing door in. There we go. Tiny little starter for now, but it's perfect for you guys to operate out of. We're going to wrap around to this wooden square over here with some walls now. Over here, and another one. Then we get to this triangle here, and this is why we don't upgrade or rush ahead. That's going to need to get bowed out by the boys, and we're going to need to swap it out with the raised foundation. If you cannot fit a raised one here, don't freak out. You're just not going to have a bunker. That's unfortunately how it goes. But I understand you're not always going to have the perfect build spot, and the bunker is not the be-all and end-all of this base. It's still worth building even without that. And we wrap it in half walls at the top, wrap through with some doors, and this is how the bunker would seal. There we go. As long as you've got bags in here and the ability to break a wooden foundation, you're good to go. Might want to upgrade that as well, but yeah, we're safe enough. You could log off at this stage. Wouldn't be a very successful wipe day though. But during the day, you chop that out to break the bunker. During the day though, we're going to be wrapping this kind of setup, and that works just fine as well to get in and out. And then this triangle is just pure honeycombing. Didn't get a use for this one. And since we've done one triangle over there and there, we might as well do all 3 for the sake of symmetry. And there we go. So we're honeycombing all of the 3 squares of this base to give us a little arrowhead footprint here. Next, this is an inconvenient exit of the base. Feels rather door campable, so we're going to bring it up just like this. You can add a half wall in here, and you do get boxes above that single door. If that's feeling a bit tight for the boys and they're not happy with the movement, it's taking them far too long to exit, you can just open that up and make it a double door. It's real, adds a little bit of raid cost from above, but it's not a massive deal. And you bring it out the triangle just like that. And the way we set this kind of ring up is this is a loot room, this is a door, this is a wall. And that repeats: loot room, door, wall, loot room, door, wall. Just like that. And then we can seal this all in so that we've got some more space to play off of. Just like so. Then you can add the doors on here. These can be wood for now. You just want to seal up this space so you can actually move around. Before you know it, you've got a shooting floor. Pretty much. Amazing. Now, we're going to go ahead and throw down the rest of the footprint to avoid any confusion here and make life a little bit easier. So off of the triangles, we're going to place squares. And we're going to leave these gaps here. Okay. Just like so. Squares all the way around. Lovely. Then on this front facing side, we're going to make this a gap that we leave out. And over here, we're going to add in a triangle foundation. There we go. Gap on the left, triangle on the right, and that repeats: gap on the left, triangle on the right, all the way around. As for this section over here, we can now add in a door frame, leading into another door frame, wrapping into a early game bedroom. We do need to build this bedroom early to give you guys some respawns, and it makes sense for building the second floor too. So you can full seal this retake in, just like that, and over here. So you wrap through like that with a couple of doors. Very nice. Over this side just gets left open for now. We'll do the same again. Getting your early game bedrooms down is super important. If that raid does come, and it's a nice and convenient spot for some people to depot, you just throw a little barrel in here. Grab the wrong barrel low key for this placement. There you go. But yeah, you throw a barrel in there, and then if you do come back from a successful mission, throw a gear set in there and it might save the day. You never know. Even a DB. We'll do that on all three sides. Wrapping through again. There we go. Boom. Base is looking pretty good, pretty nice. Now we do need a way up here, and we'll just let that be pretty temporary if we can. So that's going to need to stay twig. A foundation does not go here, to be clear. Do not upgrade what I'm placing right now. This is a temporary way up for you and the boys to get in the base. So keep that in mind. The next thing we can do is give ourselves a bit of an airlock on the exit here. Feels a lot safer, just like that. Door opening up, covering us through. Retake watching the door path. We do that on all sides. Airlock to keep us a little bit safer. Nobody can deep us. And now that the second floor feels nice and safe, apart from this area here, I think we can throw some mega loot rooms in here and actually be able to use those comfortably. So we're going to throw a full wall over here. Again, that twig needs to stay twig. We are going to break it. Break your little mega loot room in here. Sure the walls are the right way around. Temporarily just break that so we can get our ramp in here. Then a triangle. You put your ramp back just like that. And give us an extra triangle inside the loot room too. Just like that, pulling it through. And then the twig stays twig. Can only stress that enough. Wall on the inside. Break that so we can get our ramp in very quickly. Then we can put it back. Again, that is a twig foundation. It needs to stay twig. There we go. Wrap all the walls in. Give us a triangle floor there, and give us a triangle floor up top as well. One more to do. Break that real quick. Give us a ramp. Give us a triangle. Put your ramp back. Leave it twig. Give us one more coming through. Very nice. And now I'll take off the doors so we can actually see what we're doing here. But we've got 3 nice big loot rooms to be utilizing. If you do care about getting the box placement perfect, if you sit on this ramp and bring these boxes as far forward as you can. Nice, you're going to have to break that ramp again. All part of the fun though. Then bring these as center and as forward as you can, and the same on this level as well. Next up, we are ready to move over to the multi-TC portion. So we're going to be breaking these foundations here. As I said, those are temporary. The left foundation needs to remain as a gap, and we're going to start doing some build outs now to take us in. So come out with 2 triangles and then head out with 7 squares. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cap it with a triangle and break the build out so far. If you're worrying that you can't go out this far due to monuments, roads, whatever it is, I'm going to do a method that helps with that on the next one. So just wait and watch for that if you do need it. And we return back with triangles, and we're looking to line up right here with a nice tight multi-TC gap. Move it along in a row of 3 and then wrap it through like that. That is the full row of triangles that we're looking for. The rest of this twig is no longer needed. And then we have a nice 5-row triangle here, and that's perfect. Next up, we're going to add a square foundation, and that's going to be part of our doorway. We want to rush straight to the external using as minimal materials as possible. This triangle is not connected to anything, so let's bring it through just like that. That links it up to the rest of the build. And then we're going to go and slightly wide gap this, just for the sake of the compound. Don't freak out, just quickly adding that in. The bare minimum that we need is a window, a wall, and then a frame, a wall, like that. And I'm just upgrading what we need. Everything else can be left alone for now. Add a floor there for the turret to be safe, and then join it all up. And then we need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 with a triangle, and that's your TC there. So that's the bare minimum you need to place in order for you to claim up your build spot. Ideally, we're upgrading all of this. You could just rush to the external and build nothing else. That would be fine too. But for now, I just want to join this all up at the bare minimum. You can just seal this up for now, and your TC will be decently weak, but I mean, that's fine for now. We're going to go ahead and be ready for compound. So we're going to add a door on this, add a floor on this for barricades. And that's the bare minimum we need. And we can start joining high walls in from there. We're going to go ahead and do this on the next side now. And remember, I'm doing this assuming that I'm not able to go out the full 7. So we're going to come out with the same 2 triangle build out. And then we're going to begin the 7 square process that we can't fully do. Let's assume you're only able to come out 2 squares with a triangle included. So that's 2 squares. We'll keep that number in mind. We're going to then build back towards the base as far as we can. 2 squares within our head. We can break the twig we've done so far. Say we come back out with another 2 and we can fit the triangle. Break this. That's a total of 4 now. I'm like the maths teacher right now. That's as far back as we can come. We take this away. Another 2. That is 6. Break. Return. And we need 1 more to get us to the magic number 7. Then return. Boom, we've got our nice multi-TC gap. We barely went anywhere away from the base either. We just had to do a little bit of maths, which I'm sure we're all super good at. And from there, we're joining up the floaty triangle. It's all by itself. And we need to do a window with a wall here to link it up to the wide gap. We're coming out with 1, 2, capping it with a triangle, and giving us our full footprint here. We don't need to upgrade it all just yet, just this one. There we are, and we join it up with a floor into a frame. Floors for the turret, frame is for the shooting floor visibility. All that's linked up nice. It just needs an external, and we're building out 4 squares for that with a triangle. TC is going to go in this one, and that's all you need to place for now. Get a door on there, and then join all this up. And it's really not a lot of metal frags, what we've just done there. And we're already rushing compound. We're going to go ahead and do this one more time, and I'll just do it the normal method, and hopefully I haven't confused anyone and they understood what the other thing was for. So that's 7 out. Break the build out. Return over with the triangles, and I really hope the mouse is not too loud. It sounds loud for me right now, but hopefully the microphone suppression is putting in work for me right now. Then we can come out for the wide gap. I'm just doing the bare minimum now to seal up compound because it's important to rush that stage. We need to join up the lonely triangle, and then we need to add a single door to join it fully. Window, wall, then lower into frame, then 4 out, and our TC. And there we go. Door on that. Float a frame for some barricades. And that is 3 of the compound sections done. For the next compound section, we're going to come over to this central triangle. We've got 3 of those. And we're going to be coming off here with the 2 square wide gap method. So 2 squares, cap it with a triangle, and then give us a nice wide gap hexagon like so. Then we're going to be doing 3 squares off of that. Triangles in between, and 2 triangles to complete our seawall footprint. All of these foundations are currently unnecessary. We are looking to rush compounds, so I'm going to leave them all twig and they all join up nicely without needing any walls. So once we've done the connection, there will be no decay. We're going to need this square and these triangles. We'll wrap that in for the beds, and we will give it a floor for a barricade with a half wall on top. And we'll do the same over here, and I'm placing all of these. While they are technically unnecessary, there is a bit of a skill gap on the wall placement, so that just prevents anything from going wrong, spending a little bit of materials to make sure nothing goes wrong. Then from there, you can add a square on top. You can bring a frame through from the half wall that you should already have in the base, and then that all joins up like this. And that's at the 1.5 height that we're looking for that connection. And then we can do that on this side and the remaining 2. Everything else, we're just leaving twig purely for making your guys' life easier. If you're on a modded server and materials are no issue, then it's no issue, upgrade. But this is the bare minimum we need to do in vanilla, assuming you're looking to get your compound down early, as you should be looking to do. Now we're just doing the same thing here. This is a bit of a bedroom at the back, but for now it's just where we're going to place a barricade. That's all we're worrying about. And we're making the main base connection at 1.5 height. All of these can stay twig for now. They're not that important. The next thing for us to do is 1 more. So we're at 2. Wide gap triangle. 3 squares, triangles in between, 2 triangles to complete the seawall. This is important, and this and this. And we wrap it in. Over here. Cap it up by half walls. Just like that. All the way through. Join it to main so that nothing decays. 1 floor, 2 frames. And there we go. We are ready to throw some high walls down. Nice to be able to rush this, and this is obviously the best way to be building in vanilla. I'm going to go ahead and do this on the gatehouses as well. Just purely, I don't want you guys to mess up. Ideally, you don't need to place this, but if you are too tight with your high wall, you won't be able to place it. So if you want to practice on a build server, and you can be as efficient as you want, but I'm just going to assume that this is mess upable for some of us, so we'll play it safe and spend the materials. So just add that in on all 3 of your gatehouses, and we'll call this the bare minimum you need to throw down high walls. So we are looking at a 3 high wall seal. I'm going to throw on symmetry for this one, as you don't need to see this multiple times, and you can demo high walls, so there's no issue. We're going to start on the bedroom side, and I'm clipping the high wall in enough that we cover any gaps, but I'm not trying to have any spikes poking through in the beds. We're looking for this to come through at a bit of a diagonal, and we're heading out the way, so that should be good enough. Then we're going to come off of the gatehouse, and we're looking for this to be reasonably flat. So if you look to the half wall and look to the blue, you should see that creating a bit of a straight line, and then that's probably a 1 wall seal over here. And there we are. Beautiful. And because I have symmetry on, that's happened on all sides. So that covers up really nicely. And the great thing about this base is these are the barricade placements. Wow, that was difficult. Wow, that was difficult. Not a lot of blades to seal up this either. Really making life easy for you guys. Now that our compound is safely sealed up, we can go ahead and bring out a large furnace, and we're looking to have that basically pointing towards this little gap in the seawall like this. Don't pull it too close. We want to make sure we can still build on these foundations, but about there is good, and you should be able to access through there. So we can do that on all of the sides, and that allows you guys to start pumping metal. If you're not a large furnace team, just leave them out and get your electric furnaces going inside the ring somewhere. Ideally, you don't even want these. They block a little bit of turret placement, so ideally leave them out, but it's up to you. Next thing I'm going to do is give you guys a proper entrance to your base, because right now you must just be operating off of a bit of twig, and that's okay. But we're looking to give ourselves a real way into the base. Now that all the complicated stuff has been done, I'm going to leave 3-sided symmetry on. I'll have a little marker on the screen so you know that 3-side sim is on. Essentially what that means is what happens on one side, it's going to happen on 2, 3 as well. That's going to save you guys from watching an absolute Rust movie right now. And for the experienced builders, you're going to be able to speed ahead hopefully as well too. So on the entrance to the base, we're going to finish it off with a single door here. into a double door, just like so. Over on these sections, we're going to add in the full honeycomb, and you can see we're looking at some gaps here, and the best way to hide that is with a conditional. You don't need to know what that is, you can just follow exactly as I do. Essentially, we want this wall and this wall to be the same grade, i.e. metal, stone, whatever you're going for, they need to be the same, and then we'll have this one hard side facing us, and that covers up any gaps for us. We'll do the same over here, even though there's no gap, there could be if you upgrade this wall. You don't need to understand it, just follow along pretty much. This one is pure honeycombing. The triangle is going to come from main, giving us a gap down the front here. If you're not used to multi-TC, this can look a little bit scary. We're going to give ourselves a half wall there, and that's joining onto the multi-TC, just like this. And that drops us down into the bedroom, through to the retake. Then from there, we can add in a full wall over here, and we don't do anything there at all. And then you can throw a staircase down, just like this. And if you don't want to do that, you can just do a normal triangle. Or you can even do a furnace, any of that works. And it does wrap through a little bit onto our drop down, but it doesn't really get in the way at all. This is all perfectly fine. You just throw a garage door on here, and you can have some furnaces underneath. But all that seals up fine, so it's not an issue. Next thing we can do is just wrap all of this in. Again, we're looking to create that conditional, so we're going to have these facing us, covering up any gaps. And then over here, we don't actually do anything. Over here is just a simple drop down, so we can just leave that as is. And you can add a half wall coming through if you'd like. There we go. Double doors into here, single door in front of this. And then once you've done all of this, you can just set up some doors to divide down the middle, wrapping us all the way through and in. And we can seal that up with some triangles. The next thing we want to do is build our bunker. So we're going to start by doing a hard side wall over here. Then this is where the actual loot is going to go. You can throw your barrels in here. Window in front, into single door over here. And we need this window and single door to be the same grade and the same hardness facing out, just like that. That'll cover up any gaps down this side. We place the wall on the multi-TC. We place this roof to give us a gap here. Double check the bunker opens when we place the twig. It does indeed. We'll leave the twig there while we're building to make sure no one makes any mistakes. Add a double door there, wrap that through, so these triangles are coming off of main. Then these triangles are coming off of multi-TC, gap down here, and then this one needs to come off main. That's where things get a little bit weird. You can see we have two socket options. One's going to give us a gap here. The other one is going to give us a gap over in front of me there. We want this one to come here. That'll leave the bunker open. Option number 2 actually shuts the bunker permanently, so don't make that mistake. If you're unable to access this socket from above, try from below. And if you can't from below, try from above. One or the other always works. That is just another kind of weird rust thing. And then we can close that up and we're good. You can see we do have a gap over on this side. You might be worried about that. No need to be. Once we add this wall, as long as this wall, the same grade and both soft side facing in, then that'll cover up any gaps. Ideally, you want to armor this up for the sake of the bunker, and it's not a bad idea to have this armored too. Exposed high wall on the outside can look ugly sometimes and give people an idea where to blow, so if you'd rather not, it's up to you. You can make that decision. We're going to skip past the open core now and just try and seal over the top of it because it is a bit of a waste of mats at this level. We're not ready to move in there just yet, so there is no point prepping. We're going to wrap through to where our jump up will be, and that's going to be over here. We do have a way into open core right there, and then the jump up leads over. And wrap through. Next, we'll bring it up and over, keeping the grades the right way around, just like so. Then we'll wrap up and over, and we're keeping the grades the same as they are below, so that we have any gap coverage. Double door in front, like that. This is a wall, and that's a window. And then we door in front. Over here gets a little bit weird, but we'll go ahead and build it out now. We go into half wall window like this, sealing it up. Backwards honeycomb to cover up the gap, you see. And we'll do that over here as well. There we go. Backwards honeycomb again. Over here, we just wall this fully in. Nothing for the square. And we're looking to jump up from this triangle here. We can add a full wall into open core and a half wall window on the jump. On this side, we do a little battery spot, and that's going to be 2 walls from the outside, which is nice. And we're looking for the gap to be there and there. So hopefully that makes sense. You can seal that up top. Over here, things are going to get a little bit weird. So we're going to do a half wall next to the loot room of open core, facing in like this. You cannot build anything on this one, and we're not looking to do that. It's going to break the bunker. Again, we'll leave our bunker open so no one makes any mistakes. Always double check it's not been shut on you. We'll add a floor on top, window there, and a window here like this. All of that looks a little bit ugly, but it does just get fully sealed in, so there's no issue. And from there we can add a frame, float a window, and give it a square floor for stability like that. All of that seals in, and this is going to give us some one-ways into shooting floor later on. Open core is still not really ready to be moved into, but we'll just add that in for stability like this, and a floor there. And then we're just going to seal the rest of it in and come back to it. We're still not ready for OC, so just leave this for now. From our jump up, we do jump up one more time, and that's going to take us to roof. We exit out this time to wrap through, and we leave this open at the top with a frame to make sure nobody seals it. We can go ahead and turn that into our roof exit right now and seal it up with the door. From our jump up on shooting floor level, we add a wall, and we wrap through to another wall, window, single door. And then we can seal on top of the retake. So you can see the one-way watches out into shooting floor and out into our entrance to shooting floor. And we wrap the doors through. This is our way into the core, and over here is going to be a Patrico retake, again watching that same single door as we enter in. And all of this just seals in with double doors and floors. Same over here. There we go. That can be capped off now and sealed, and same with that. Now we got our roof exits here. We're prepping for shooting floor, and all of these foundations will need to be raised up and upgraded. All right, so for the open core now, we're pretty much ready. We might as well throw that down. It's nice and simple. We just come straight through with a couple of half walls like this. And I still got three-sided sim on. You can do half walls in the middle as well, and if you want, you can throw some furnaces in here, or if you're finding the placement a little bit too annoying, I think it's still pretty hard even with snapping. You can just leave it out. It's not that deep. You don't need these. And then you can go ahead and place some ramps in the squares facing up towards the middle, with a triangle coming off the shelf inside the bunker. And then boxes, you place those right at the top of the ramp so it's convenient to walk over. Go floors on here as well with boxes underneath. And then we're onto the mega loot rooms over here, so we get the ramp on them. Then we can bring a triangle through and place one more at the top. Then once you've done that, we can just throw frames in the middle and give it a full ceiling as well. Adding half walls all the way through and dividing up with floors and doors all the way through. And then that's your little mini open core done and dusted, ready to move on. The next thing we're ready to do is bring this up. Prepping for shooting floor now with some frames and half floors. And that's on all three sides still. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade all the foundations on the ground now and start talking about what we need to bring up. Before we do any of the shooting floor stuff, I think I'm going to finish off the compound and get our externals looking a little bit more beefy. So we'll start outside the base first, and we'll go ahead and add in walls coming through just like this. Straight into door frames for garage doors, and you can honeycomb the back of this TC. And you can honeycomb the top or just upgrade. Over here we're going to add in some triangles, and that's going to give us 2 Patrico angles, and we're going to have them facing out this way. That gives us our angles there, and then we have double door, single door airlock on the back here, and that's on all 3 sides. There we go. Next, I'm going to look to the gatehouse to beef it up some more. I'm going to add another half wall frame like this, and the chain link can go in here just like so. Then we get a little window retake like this, and a double door leading in with a turret on top. There we go. And this could be done at any stage. If you have the turrets ready to go and you want them down, you could rush this extra part of compound just to have things a little safer here for any early game raids. Over here is the bedroom module. We come out with some windows, giving us some better angles. Turn it into Patricos. Keep our heads safe. Like that. We do a low wall out to that side, half wall over here, and then frame like this. There we go. And then you can give it chain link on both of these. And then seal it all up. Turret in the middle. There we go. So now some bedrooms are set up, and we're looking a little bit stronger here. Okay, now we're ready to do the shooting floor. And the first thing I'd like to do before we start trying to fly up around and get some frames going is get the reverse waterfalls. That'll give you guys some netting to use to get up and down, and hopefully make building wide gaps on vanilla a little bit easier. So on this one space that we have, we're going to add a window into a half wall, just like that. Down the middle, we're going to do 2 frames with a half wall on top, and then 2 more frames, just like that. Then from there, we can add in the netting, and we need a way to get to that netting, and this is just what I use personally. Works for me. Nice and discreet, neat and tidy, and we can bring these up to the same height as well. I'll do that over here too. Window, half wall, frames coming up, half wall, 2 more. Netting goes through, give us a way onto the net. There we go. Then we can raise these frames up. You guys should be using the netting to make life easier. I'm going to keep flying though because I'm on a build server. The next thing we can do on the front here is raise these up to the 3rd height, the full hexagon. So we're going 1, 2, 3, up to this level here. And then we can just cover this whole section in, preparing us for a triple brutalist setup. On the front side here, this just raises up as normal, taking us to shooting floor height level. There we go. And again, you can use the reverse waterfalls on these, hopefully making life a little bit easier. Just again, coming to this height. Wrap all of this from the outside in full walls like so. Then you can add windows on the front, doors on the sides, and we can half wall inside this. Give us the max stability here. It's a pretty important angle. We don't want to lose it. Then from this stage, you can add in 1 ramp on the left, 1 ramp on the right, upgrade one of them to brutalist, add a square to divide down the middle, add another square over here, and this one we're going to keep wood. On the off chance that your brutalist is broken and you want to replace it, you'll need to molly out this square and then throw your ramps back. A little bit of build order there, not too annoying though. Once it's all sealed up, complete the brutalist, and there you are. Nice triple brutalist angle. Beautiful. Then you can just add in the floors of your shooting floor simply around here, off the wide gaps, giving us downwards from this side. Over here, we get another triple brutalist angle, and we're going to add half walls around the front with windows on top. And then we can add our brutalist here, and our brutalist here, and here. That one's a little bit simpler. And then we get 1, 2, 3 embrasures. Very nice. All the way along here, we're just going to do frames for max stability, like so. Floors on top. And next to the windows, these can just be half walls. There we go. You can use these angles too. They are fob protected from the outside, so that's fine. And we can just downward angle on these. Up top here, we seal that with a half wall and a floor, giving us a retake back up onto roof. This is where our reverse waterfall matches up. So we get the retake here with a half wall into a low wall. And that's on all 3 sides as well. And then we can have a look at the reverse waterfall and look to be finishing these off. So give us a floor to stand on here, then a full wall on the back and a full wall on the front here as well. Single door. And then from there we can add in a frame with a half wall and a floor there, the frame there. And we do break that for now, and then we can add a floor there too. Once you've done that, you can seal this part in and give us a full exit to the top of the roof. Last little thing I do is a roof here, 4 style points. We'll do that over here as well. Floor there, frame here, 2 full walls, half wall there, frame there, single door, and exit out to the top with a double, and a roof for style points. There we go. The triple brutalist just gets full sealed in, so we don't do anything fancy here. And over here, we're going to bring up frames from these half walls with windows on top. From the level below, you can actually float a little bit extra to give us a locker at the top here, and that gives us a little bedroom here as well. Plus 2 more brutalist angles on top of roof. Embrasures go in like that. Next thing we can do is head over to this big hexagon section here and give us some windows on the left and right and a double door with a spot for a locker in the middle. Go ahead and drop down and give that a little bit of stability and some aura points, and drop down and raise these up for some petricos. Not a bad idea to grill these, add in your embrasures, and seal them up on top. Then from there, we're going to get a turret spot at the top here, And we're going to half wall and chain link, then seal it all in. Turret can sit in the middle there, giving us a little way through to the locker. Turret goes in, chain link goes down, and we do have another turret spot here as well, which is nice. This turret comes up with some chain link, like so. And you're better off placing this one off-centered, just like this. And that allows you to stand in the middle with no blind spot. And you can even add a little bit more chain link over here, just to make things a bit more effective and keep the turret safe from the outside and any attack killies. There we go. Low wall this for some aura points. And now we got all our roof turrets looking very nice. We can window on the left, garage door on the right for minicopter. Flex Vendys go there. Seal this all in, don't add any doors so we can get a few minicopters in here. As for the vendings, if you take the window off and place these right up against it, and then that's our drone selling station. Adding a deployable next to these vendys is going to allow you to jump up onto roof where you can throw your SAMs. SAM sites are going to go in the middle, just like so. The turrets can still keep an eye on us up here. And then we can throw our windmills down on the hexagon sections. And then once you've done that, that completes the base design. Hopefully boys and girls have enjoyed this video and found it easy enough to follow. If you've got any questions, of course, drop them in the comments or join the Discord down below and I can help you out there. Remember to check out the Patreon for some semi-exclusive bases or join the Discord for a full-blown custom design. And I'll see you boys and girls in the next video. In a bit.